Thomas the Train, Wooden Railway, The Legend of the Flying Scotsman. It was the day that Smudger ran into the house, and Thomas, Percy, and Henry were in the sheds. None of their friends have came back to the works yet, and no one knows where Edward is, since he was supposed to stay in the shed, but he left and he's not there anymore. Ugh, things are getting weird, said Thomas. You're right, said Henry. Thomas, said Percy, I have a question. Yes, said Thomas. Can you tell one of your stories, you and Henry, before I got to the railway and there weren't too many engines there? Oh, said Henry, you always ask that. I don't want to, I'm too tired. Fine, said Thomas, I will. Have you ever heard about the legend of the Flying Scotsman? No, said Percy. Well, said Thomas, oh, it was a long time ago. It was when I worked in the yard before Annie and Clarabelle and fetched trains. Edward pulled freight cars. Henry pulled long goods trains. Gordon pulled old slow coach. What? Said Percy. Gordon pulled old slow coach? He would never do that today. Old slow coach is so old and, well, back in the day, old slow coach was very nice, said Thomas. But the pride of the railway, why everyone came to Sodor, was the one and only Flying Scotsman. The two tendered engine who pulled the express. What? Said Percy. It's true? The Flying Scotsman had two tenders? Yes, said Thomas. Boy, he was something else. You know how a lot of big engines are mean and arrogant nowadays? Yes, said Percy. Well, the Flying Scotsman was one of the only big engines who wasn't. He was nice to everyone. The passengers loved him. And some passengers even made Sir Topham Hatt a huge offer to buy him, but Sir Topham Hatt never sold him. The Flying Scotsman would get his passengers and zoom right out of the station. Now here's the day that the Flying Scotsman left Sodor. I was shunting trucks in the yard one day, getting ready to go fetch Edward's train, when I saw a mysterious shaped engine in the distance. I had never seen this shape of an engine before. Heavens, I've never even seen the engine before. There's only a couple of us on Sodor. I was very intrigued. I shouted from the distance away from where the engine was. Excuse me, he said. Who are you? Just then, the engine quickly darted away. The engine was a rectangle shape. I've never seen an engine shaped like that before. All of us got to the station where Sir Topham Hatt had called a meeting. At that time he was dating Lady Hatt and they weren't married yet. Attention by engines of Sodor, he said. Unfortunately, I have some terrible news. The Flying Scotsman is leaving Sodor today for a long time. The engines gasped. They were not expecting this. The Flying Scotsman looked at all the engines. My fellow engines, he said, I hate to go. I wish I didn't have to, he said, but to be a very useful engine, I must, he said. First, I would like to have some words with all of you. Said, first, my brother Gordon, you are first. Gordon, you are my brother to the very end. You will be taking my express from now on. Remember to be very reliable and very useful to the passengers. I feel that you will. That's why I've given it to you. Without me, the passengers will be furious. So that's why I need the closest thing to me, my own brother. Now to you, Henry. Henry, good luck with your special coal. I hope you can finally use regular coal, because I know you would love that much better. But nevertheless, good luck with your goods trains, Henry. Edward, you're next. Edward, you're the oldest of all 5 of us, and you are the most experienced. That's why I think you are going to be a very useful engine since you've had so much experience. Remember, it doesn't matter how old you are, it matters how useful you are. And next to you, Thomas. Thomas, you will be a very useful engine because little engines can do big things. With a wink in his eye, the Flying Scotsman slowly left the station into the sunset with a long whistle. "Remember," said the Flying Scotsman, "I will return." And he puffed away out of sight.